Hello friend, Assalamu alaikum. This is the second lecture of VMware Virtualization ESXi. And first lecture we just discussed about the course that what we were going to learn and what was the topic, what was the name of the certification of VMware ESXi. And this lecture, first 2 or 3 lecture will be we can say that theory, and then we were going to include the practical as well as theory. So we will discuss the theory, and then we will going to discuss and we learn the practical of VMware ESXi. So in this first lecture, the title of this lecture is what is virtualization. So introduction. Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about virtualization. It's a powerful technology that has transformed how we used hardware resources in the world of computing. So now, what is virtualization? Virtualization is the technique of splitting physical resources like a CPU, memory, or hard disk into multiple logical resources. Like as the mention in the definition that virtualization is a technology which split the physical resources. Resources mean CPU, memory, hard disk into multiple logical resources. It doesn't mean that we can divide that physically. We divide that logically. This means you can take a single physical machine and divide it into several virtual machines, each acting as its own independent system. Let me just give you example of VMware ESXi, VMware workstation. Just let me open my VMware. So here this is the VMware player, or we can say that VMware ESXi. I have installed VMware ESXi 7 on this VMware workstation, and then I have installed FortiGate firewall, and then I have installed Windows Server 2022. So like you can install more than one operating system on a single machine with the help of virtualization. So virtualization, there is a software, we call it hypervisor. With the help of hypervisor, we installed multiple operating system on a single physical machine. Like here, you can take a single physical machine and divide it into several virtual machines, each acting as its own independent system. Let me just give you an example. Like here in this example, and let me just make it a little bit bigger. So we have a physical machine. RAM of this physical machine is 64 GB and hard disk is 2 TB. So I'm just giving you the example of hard disk, RAM, and each and every. So we have the first machine, VM, virtual machine. We will discuss this, what is virtual machine, and each and everything. So let me just give you an example. In this physical machine, we will going to install the hypervisor and the virtualization software. With the help of it, we can create more than one operating system on a single physical machine. So we called it each physical machine is VM. So this is VM1, this is VM2, this is VM3, and this is VM4. So assign 10 GB RAM to the VM1 and 300 GB hard disk, and then assign 10 GB RAM and 300 GB hard disk to another VM, and this third VM we assign 10 GB RAM, 300 GB hard disk. So same as VM4. So each machine acting as its own independent system. Okay, in a simple terms, virtualization allows multiple operating systems to run simultaneously, at the same time, on a single physical server. These virtual machines or VMs have isolated environment. Isolated means they cannot talk to each other. They can talk to each other, but they don't know about the other machine. Like for example, if you installed VM1 on a physical machine, this VM1 will consider himself alone on this physical machine, and the VM2 will also think that I am alone on this physical machine. It means that your data will be secure. VMware VM1 cannot talk by default, cannot learn about the VM2. We can communicate VM1 with VM2 with the help of some process, but they by default they don't know about how to talk to each other. So these virtual machines or VMs have isolated environments, resources, and their own operating system. This optimizes hardware usage, improves resource management, and increase flexibility. Yeah, this is, we can say. So this was the one example, and this is the another example in term of VMware ESXi. This is the hypervisor. We will discuss this in detail. And this is the networking, this is the storage, and this is management, security, and monitoring. So we installed VM1, VM2, VM3, VM4, VM5. So VM means a machine. We here we can install Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8. Even we can install any operating system on this VM, and here same. Okay. So how does virtualization work? Virtualization create a virtual version of a computer, server, storage device, or application, while it's behave just like a real thing, a real machine, a real, we can say that, physical machine. Okay. So the VM virtual machine will just behave like a physical machine. Okay. It's actually software simulation. This software based approach allows you to do more with your existing hardware. Okay, so here we have types of virtualization. There are different types of virtualization, each serve is a unique purpose. So server virtualization, like here we discussed that this is the server machine. We install hypervisor, and then we installed VM 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So there's types of virtualization we call server virtualization. Here let's just discuss. Involves partitioning a physical server into multiple virtual servers. This allow better resource utilization and management, especially for large scale operations. Okay. Desktop virtualization allow multiple desktop environment to be hosted on a single physical machine. So we can use multiple desktop on a single virtual on a single physical machine. User can access their desktop environment from any device, improving flexibility. This improve our flexibility. Application virtualization. So let me just give you example of application virtualization. Let me just open Paint. Okay, and let me just make it enlarge. So for example, if you're a professional, if you have some experience in your professional environment, even if you don't have experience, so don't worry. So this we can say this is a server. Here we installed one software, and this is the computer, and this computer connect with the switch. We can say we have more than one computer, and we connected the server with the switch, and then switch connect with computer 1, switch with computer 2, and then switch with computer 3. Here we installed one software, and and here we will going to use the exe. With the help of this software, we will going to access the resources of this computer. So we called it application virtualization. Like we will going to install the software here, and we can access it, and we can work from here. And the most important thing that we installed it on a simple one computer, but we can use it on multiple computer. This application we can use on multiple computer. This we called application virtualizations. Okay. So types of virtualization based on hypervisors. So now let's talk about the two main types of virtualization. Number one, type 1 bare metal, and type 2 hosted virtualization. So first, what is bare metal virtualization? Hypervisor. These types of hypervisor run directly on physical hardware. So type 1. So what does it mean by type 1? Let me just again give you the example of this. We can say that on this is, I'm sorry. Okay, let me just grab. This is a physical machine, and we didn't installed anything on this physical machine. Let me just rename it. This is a physical machine, and Okay, so we do not install anything on this physical machine. We are going to install the hypervisor. This is a software with the help of which we can create virtual machine. Let me just grab this hypervisor. Like here, we just discuss hypervisors. So we will going to install this hypervisor on this physical machine, and let me just increase the size for this. Okay, so hypervisor we will going to install directly on physical machine. So this is we call bare metal hypervisor. Bare metal means there will be no other operating system on physical machine, and we will going to install hypervisor. This is the ISO file. We will learn how we can install, and then you can then create a VM on this physical machine. This types of virtualization is called type 1 hypervisor, and we also call it bare metal hypervisor. Okay, like this types of hypervisor run directly on the physical hardware. Direct access virtual machine have direct access to the hardware, which improves the performance. Since there's minimal overhead, type 1 virtualizations offer the highest performance. So example of the type 1 hypervisor: VMware, ESXi, KVM, and Zen server we can use for the virtualization. And another one is type 2 hosted hypervisor. Let me just give you example of type 2 hypervisor. For example, this is the machine. On machine we installed this is the separate part. Here we installed Windows 10. Okay, and this machine we will going to install the hypervisor. Hypervisor name will be, we can say, VMware workstation. Okay, so let me just bring it over here. Okay, so first I have just installed the Windows 10 on this physical machine, and then I have installed hypervisor. We can call it VMware workstation. So this is called hosted hypervisor. It means this is Windows 10 is host machine, host operating system, and then on that we just install the, like, just let me just give you an example. For example, if I'm going to install VMware workstation on this computer, my Windows 10 computer, so we can call it, this is the hosted hypervisor, because I'm installing it on a hosted machine. Hosted machine means I have installed Windows 10 on my computer, and then I have installed the VMware workstation. Okay, for example, if I'm going to give you example of type 1 bare metal hypervisor, so I have to delete Windows 10 from my this computer, and then I have to install, like I'm installing Windows on my computer. So this is the type 1. And type 2 hypervisor is hosted hypervisor. First of all, you need to install Windows operating system or any operating system like Linux and Mac. So you can install any operating system on your machine, and then you need to install VMware workstation. This is we call the hosted hypervisor. This is called bare metal hypervisor, and this is called hosted hypervisor. Okay, this we have two types. In type 2 virtualization, the hypervisor run is an application on top of the host operating system. My Windows 10 is called host operating system. Okay, and direct access virtual machine access hardware resources through the host OS, which adds an additional layer of abstraction. Okay, performance, this setup generally has lower performance than the type 1 due to the extra layer. Examples of type 2 hypervisor: VirtualBox, VMware Workstation, and Parallel Desktop. This is the example of we can say that of type 2 hypervisor. So conclusion: virtualization is a game changing technology that optimizes how we use hardware, allowing us to create flexible, scalable, and efficient computing environments and organizations. Okay, whether it's server, desktop, or application virtualization, the benefits are clear: better resource management, improved performance, and increased flexibility. If you're interested in learning more about virtualization or need one-on-one help with VMware ESXi, I offer personalized teaching session. Whether you're a beginner or looking to deepen your knowledge, I can guide you through the process. Feel free to reach out to me and let's get started on virtualization journey. And thank you for the watching. If you have any question, so just comment. I will respond to your comment and see you on next lecture. Thank you.